The movie starts with a big fight between a mother and her son. The father, Hal, is sad and plays a strange game called Cursor. The game controls Hal by making him do terrible things. Later, Kayla finds this game and starts playing it with her friend. The game forces them to make scary choices and face dangerous challenges. Will Kayla and her friend escape the game's traps? At the start of the movie, we see a house where a big fight is happening. Inside, the mother and her son are arguing a lot. Isaac fights with his mother about everything and says mean things about his father. The father is behind the door, listening to the fight and feeling very sad. Later, he goes to his room and starts playing a computer game called Cursor. The game asks if he is trapped and if he wants to win a prize. Hal ignores the question and drinks his beer. When the bottle is empty, he puts it on the table. The screen then asks if he wants another beer. Hal says yes, and another beer appears with a label saying behind you. When Hal looks back, he sees no one. He looks at the bottle again and notices its level has changed. The game then asks if the light should stay on or be turned off. Hal chooses to turn off the light and music starts playing. The game then asks if Hal should cut off his wife's ears or his son's tongue. Hal is scared and doesn't answer. Loud music starts playing, hurting his ears. Hal finally answers and goes out to find his wife with a knife and his son's severed tongue. Laura is crying and doesn't understand how this happened. Hal's choice completed the game's level, showing that the game controls people's actions. 3 months later, some workers were doing cleaning work in a building. While taking money from the supervisor, a pregnant lady gets into an argument with him. Then a girl named Kayla entered the scene and interfered between them. She was returning from the company after working her night shift. After finishing her shift at work, Kayla went straight to see her friend, Isaac, who was a game designer. She liked designing games too, but couldn't pursue it due to her own problems. However, she was good at fixing things. Her friend told her he had a lot of gaming items, so Kayla started looking through them. She corrected the designs that Isaac was making. Isaac used to give her money in exchange for fixing his designs of game characters. He asked her about her job, and she said that she lost her current job also. While sifting through the items, Kayla found an old game called Cursor, which we saw at the beginning of the film. She was surprised to see it was worth $125,000. She wondered how anyone could win so much money from such an old game. Kayla checked the game's CD and saw a number. She called that number and heard a call recording of a man named Robert Englund, who was featured at the start, claiming you could really win money by playing. Kayla proposed to her friend that they should play the game together and split the prize money. Her friend agreed, but said they would discuss it later in a cafe. Kayla took the game's CD and went home. At home, she found her mother, who was depressed and took medication, listening to a toy recorder. Kayla also found a notice to vacate the house if the rent wasn't paid. Her mother mentioned rats behind the wall, and Kayla promised to set a trap. Later, Kayla went to work and spoke with her partner about their cleaning job. She then went to the cafe where she had called Isaac. She sat down with her laptop and started the Cursor game. She texted her friend, but he didn't reply because he was busy. The game asked Kayla if she deserved the prize money and then gave her a choice between cake or coffee. Kayla noticed the cafe's menu also had only cake and coffee. A waitress brought her coffee, even though she hadn't ordered it, but she had only typed it into the game. Kayla saw the same choices being typed on her laptop. When the game asked if she wanted to take a break, Kayla turned off her laptop without saying anything. Then she felt herself in a world where she saw her brother Rick standing in front of her who was dead. Her brother had drowned in a pool. He told Kayla to choose or die. Kayla was confused and decided to open her laptop and type yes for a break. She was once again in the cafe. Soon, the cafe waitress began smashing glasses. The game then asked Kayla if she wanted to stop the glass from breaking or clean it up. Kayla chose to clean up the mess. The waitress then started eating the broken glass and began to bleed from her mouth. Kayla tried to help her, but the cafe owner appeared, making frightening and strange noises. Kayla pushed him aside and continued to try to stop the waitress. On the laptop, it showed that the first level of the game was completed. The next morning, Kayla found a police officer at her house investigating her mother. The officer was there because of the incident at the cafe. Kayla asked her friend where he got the game. He said he bought it recently for fun, but would look into it further. Kayla then went to her night shift, but got a call from her mother at 2 a.m. Her mother reported that rats were coming out of the wall. The rats attacked her mom, and Kayla noticed that Cursor automatically started on a computer in the room. As level 2 of the game began, Kayla saw that she needed to rescue a woman from the rats. The woman was her mother, who pleaded for help, saying the rats were very dangerous. Later, the game gave Kayla 2 choices and told her to move forward. Kayla needed to save her mother from a rat that had been chasing her for a long time. She told her mom to quickly go to the window and jump out to escape the rat. Though scared, her mom jumped to avoid the rat, ending the second level of the game. The game then said it would meet Kayla again at the same time the next night. Kayla then visited her mother in the hospital. Her mom was hurt from jumping out the window and had been admitted. Her mother asked why Kayla seemed so worried, but Kayla didn't share her concerns. When Kayla returned home, she saw that rats had severely damaged her house. Her neighbor noticed the damage and warned her that she would likely be evicted by the landlord. That night, Kayla went to her friend's house and told him about the game. She showed him photos of her ruined home. Her friend, now convinced, agreed to help her. Kayla explained that the game would start automatically at 2 a.m. and that they needed to change the game codes to stop it. They tried to turn off the game and its sounds. At 2 a.m., the game started automatically. They turned off the game sounds but couldn't stop it because level 3 began. The game seemed to know that Kayla's friend was with her, as it typed out everything he said. The game then asked Kayla if she needed her friend's help. At first she said no, but loud noises made her change her mind. She replied yes to the game, confusing her friend. Next, 2 doors appeared, one red and one blue. They had to choose between them. They checked both doors but heard no sound from either. Kayla chose the red door, and her friend followed her inside. Inside, Kayla saw her deceased brother. She began to follow him even though her friend tried to stop her. They reached a bridge, where Kayla's brother, emerging from the fog, suddenly attacked her friend, killing him. The game then asked Kayla if she wanted her brother alive or her best friend. Realizing the game was trapping her, Kayla chose her friend, leaving her brother behind. Her brother then attacked her, and Kayla had to kill him. Kayla knew this was just part of the game and not real. After she killed her brother in the game, the level ended. The next morning, Kayla felt guilty about her brother's death, as she used to take him swimming. One day, while reading a magazine, her friend learned about an old 80s game. Kids used to hack their phones to play games for free and avoid paying bills. This hacking collected personal data. Kayla's friend hacked the cursor game and found an address. They went to this address but found the door locked. They climbed in and found a big hole inside. Kayla called the number from the address, and they followed the ringing to a hallway. They found a tape recorder and followed cables to a room with old luggage. Among the items was a cursor beta disc. Her friend played the disc on an old computer and saw the game's creator, who was also the game's host. The game started automatically. The creator told them they had to pay a big price for cheating and trapped Kayla's friend in an invisible room. Kayla had to choose between replay or fast forward. She chose fast forward, and a tape reel started coming out of her friend's mouth. Despite her efforts to stop it, her friend's condition worsened and he died. After her friend died, the 4th level ended. Kayla then went into a forest path. Her mother's call came through, but her neighbor refused to let her talk. Kayla continued and found a beautiful house. As she entered, she saw that Hal, the man from the beginning, owned it. When Hal noticed Kayla, he asked, "What are you doing here?" Kayla replied that she was a game player, sent by the game itself. Hal's wife was sitting nearby looking very upset. Hal explained that the game had demanded he make copies of it or face being left behind. Kayla's phone signaled the start of the 5th and final level of the game. Hal's son ran away when he heard this. Kayla had to defeat the boss in the game. Hal thought he was the boss, with Kayla as the hero. He became furious when he saw Kayla holding a knife from a table. He threw a plate at her, but it didn't hurt Kayla. Instead, Hal injured himself. Realizing this, Kayla used the knife to cut off her own hand, which didn't hurt her but made Hal's hand fall off. Hal's son arrived and shot at Kayla, but the bullet only hurt his father. Hal's wife, wanting to end her husband's suffering, tried to kill Kayla. Hal stopped her and tried to shoot himself, but there were no bullets. Then Hal's son came with a knife, and Hal took it and cut off his own head. Kayla was hurt in the process. Kayla then jumped into the water with a stone. As Hal's body started to dissolve, Kayla survived. The game ended, and Hal's wife thanked Kayla for saving her. Kayla was rewarded for winning the game and could now control Cursor. She hacked her neighbor's phone, trapped him in the game, and killed him. Kayla received a call from the owner of her former company, who asked whom she wanted to harm with the game. Kayla answered that she would only hurt those who deserved it. The film ended with her statement,